We represent the South's last best places, and the stewards of these lands are America's true conservation heroes. Whether it's our famed quail plantations and high-quality recreational lands, islands and coastal properties, unique ranches and farms, or even our trademark social storm properties, what the places we represent all have in common is they have high intrinsic value. For over 30 years we have developed this niche, becoming its ambassadors and building it in what it is today. So many landowners now trust us to show their land's highest value, rely on our buyer Rolodex, and benefit from our concierge marketing that we close an average of $500,000 a day, 7 days a week. Today, our lands are consistently in the national spotlight and universally recognized by investors worldwide. In order to share this lifestyle with even more people, we went beyond the role of a broker to produce this short film series. We share the landowner's experience, take a peek at what the next chapter may hold, or even look back generations to discover the secrets that led us here today. These are our lands, lifestyle, and legacy. We are John Kohler and Associates. Join us as we give tribute to the land and the heroes that steward over these last great places. Owning a high-quality recreational property and being a land steward is one of life's greatest blessings. Certainly, enjoying the recreation, the beauty, and sharing all of this with friends and family is a lot of fun. However, there's something biblical, something rewarding that you feel deep in your soul when you take care of the land, about working the land, restoring habitat, and making things better. The ultimate reward is restoring the habitat so well that it creates wealth and builds a legacy that others will follow. Today we're at such a property. This is one of those rare places that have been so well managed, so well capitalized by a legacy of landowners that it stands out above the rest. The secret to why it has received attention is that it's because the property responds to both the amount of game and the recreation it provides. You're going to be amazed at what this property offers as we take an inside look at one of the most action-packed properties in the Red Hills. Join us as we celebrate Deerwood.
I'm Hurley Booth. Welcome to Deerwood. It was a great find. I remember the first time we rode the property together. We saw deer and turkey. About every bend we turned, we saw another deer or a turkey running. It was great. And I was bit and had to have it. It's a great place to be and a perfect spot to determine what your interests are going to be at an affordable price while you determine where you want to take it. It's all here. Your deer, turkey, quail, duck hunting on a relatively small place that's well maintained and cost effective. I mean, that's it. That's it. And I have to tell you, I've got friends, bankers that I do business with for years that would rather be here, spending their time here, than down the road on a 5,000 acre place. They'd rather come here and enjoy the cabin and run the hunt and teach their boys how to hunt. So, what does that tell you? Changes my attitude every time I leave my home. On the way up here, doesn't get any better. It's it just changes my perspective. I feel at peace. I am calm and collected and looking forward to a different vista. That's how it is. A wonderful thing.
For decades, Deerwood has been managed for a pre-season release and wild quail combination. Over the last 20 years, this landowner and team has developed some of the most notable pre-season release hunting courses in the Red Hills, including what is now the Big Woods at Four Oaks and Oldfields Plantation. I've had a pre-season operation for decades on my place, Lick Skillet. We hatch over 5,000 eggs a year. The method involves releasing quail in the early fall such that they establish coveys, and over time their behavior becomes almost indistinguishable from wild birds. It allows for more hunting days, a little easier on guests and new hunters, and at a lighter annual budget than wild birds. It's ideal for smaller areas and those that really want to get extra days in the field with dogs and friends. As people experience covey rise after covey rise, they want more and typically become addicted. What I've been telling folks for years is that quail hunters are drug addicts. God's drug, dopamine and adrenaline. We get that only on a covey rise, not singles and not just recently released birds, but birds that flush together and somehow know where they're going to land before they take off. The more great covey rises we enjoy, the more we want, as much as we can afford, as many dogs as we can hunt and time allows. This is what makes quail hunting so addictive. If you want to easily learn more about the neuroscience of wing shooting, I will have the entire article I wrote about this on the Deerwood website.
Well, I've got release birds and we've got wild birds as well. We use probably more release birds because we've got youngsters bird hunting, and the wild quail, more difficult, better shots, better control to actually succeed with wild quail hunting. But so we've got a bunch of young teenagers and teaching them how to hunt, so the release program works really well. We use quail, we use pheasant and chukka, and it's a big time had by all. Got great quail courses. I've got excellent deer stands, and it hunts well. You can handle 5 or 6 different people at a time. Deer hunting, turkey hunting. We quail hunt half days at a time. Always enjoy that. I've been more interested in youngsters learning how to enjoy the bird on a wing, you know. And so I've got a bunch of friends that bring their teenage boys and girls, and we play hard. There's very little cost associated with it. This is the cheapest or least expensive operation I've ever had. I've had $3/4 million a year on some of the places I've had. So this is well under 100. And that's all elective anyway. It's a great place. I will miss it terribly.
Today's world, the only constant is change, and change comes fast. For the first 130 years of this asset class, the demand for bobwhite quail lands outperformed all others by a huge margin. Few people are aware of just how high the demand and value that trophy deer hunting properties command in the market today. We have a saying that while bobwhite quail may be the prince of game birds, it's the trophy whitetail buck that's the king. By all accounts, buyers too are happy to pay a king's ransom for places with a proven track record, if they can find them. In fact, a recent sale we made of a 1,300-acre deer hunting property on the Flint River in Albany surpassed the price others recently made of a famed plantation on the Ochlockonee River in Thomasville by a whopping 30%. Meanwhile, sharing what we know, a recent plantation sale that we made across the street set an all-time Thomasville high. If you go to our website or read some of the articles I've written, you will really begin to see what I mean.
Oh gosh, I saw one, hunted him for 2 years before I ever got a shot at him. It was down in the bottom. I call the stand is called Damned If I Know, because we didn't know how to describe it or the location of it. So we call it Damned If I Know. And I would see him on camera, saw him for 2 years, and finally got a shot at him. He stood 50 yards from me broadside, and this was 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And I shot at him twice broadside and hadn't cut a hair. He turned around and walked back the other way, and I shot him and was able to put him on the wall. He's in the wall in the cabin there over the TV. So But that was an enjoyable pursuit for me to harvest that buck. It was a nice deer.
We've long shared our advice that the single number one thing you can add to your property is a flooded duck pond. Few things, if any, provide as good a recreational return of $1 for family enjoyment. Of the 4 main plantation belts, the Ace Basin and Red Hills is where you'll find the best flyways. In the Red Hills, the ringneck reigns supreme, followed closely by the wood duck. Like in South Carolina, where Frost first perfected the technique, the Georgia side allows released mallards, which they have provided in the past here at Deerwood. I remember when we sold a 6,000-acre wild quail plantation 20 years ago that back then had a $2 million annual operating budget, and the number one favorite thing that the guests wanted to do is shoot the Frost-styled mallard pond. We have experience advising and developing all types of duck ponds and know who can do it right. The ponds at Deerwood are some of the best.
Great hunting. Gray Creek runs into the larger pond on the west side, and 200-300 birds at a time. We kept them there all season. World class. I haven't had any better.
It goes without saying that one of the tenets to a good property are improvements that are designed and built to add to the experience. The best lodges or cabins complement the land, honor the traditions of the past, and set the stage for today's adventure. Here at Deerwood, you're going to find the most unique cabin in the Red Hills.
The cabin is classic. I've never seen a cabin like that. It's remarkable. And there's not 1 square inch of sheetrock in that home. It's all post and beam construction and stacked lumber, stacked stripping, built out of probably railroad debris from tobacco barns, and I don't know where it came from, John, but it's very unique. You can't duplicate that. You couldn't duplicate that cabin for $500,000, could you? I don't see it.
For this next segment, we're going to briefly leave the world of habitat and recreating in God's great creation for just a minute. What I'm about to share with you isn't known by a lot of people, but many are buying their properties not only for recreation and good times, but safety and wealth preservation and bad. We've been doing this over 30 years and recognized this trend over a dozen years ago. What we know from our experience is that there are certain properties that have characteristics that they are in demand and appreciate in both good times and bad. These are the first properties that sell in any market, and over a decade ago, we first trademarked the term social storm properties. Back then, it's hard to believe that the biggest problem is getting people to realize bad things could happen. Sadly, in today's world, everyone now gets it, with many even adding a property like this to their investment portfolio just like it were gold. Unlike gold or some other safe haven investment, the ability to have a safe place for one's family is priceless, and these lands will go up in value if tomorrow is a good day, but even more if it's a bad day. While we wish we didn't have the need, we're glad to have the means and knowledge to discreetly help people mitigate their concerns in today's chaotic world, as we hope things get back to normal. Meanwhile, it's not too late. We can still help you find them right now, but even for us, it's getting harder and harder. Social storm properties like this one are perhaps the perfect hedge for today's uncertain times. The window of opportunity, when you have the financial ability, good health, and your family too is at the stage to share it, is fleeting. What we see all too often is businessmen waiting too long, working so hard to be successful, but by the time they get serious about buying a place, figure out that no one place is perfect, they have only about 10 to 15 years of being able to easily get on and off a horse, and good health is still assumed. Kids and puppies are only impressionable for a short period of time. Spending time in the outdoors with your grandkids is a priceless gift both to you and them. We estimate that for every year someone waits before they start this adventure, they're cutting their adventure short by an average of 10%. Waiting adds up quick. Everyone I know says they wish they had pulled the trigger sooner. Don't miss sharing these priceless moments with others in the outdoors. Our role is as a trusted guide to help make your adventure with land successful, to to show you how to avoid the mistakes others have made, to show the path of success.
What a great time. What a great time. Enjoy it. I certainly have. I've got some cherished memories here. And I suspect they'll have that same opportunity.
Whether you're looking to achieve your dream of owning a world-class hunting property, a place to entertain family and friends, a safe place to store wealth, or even a social storm property, the fact is, Deerwood has proven exceptional all of the above, earning its ranking as one of the most unique investment and recreational properties one could hope to find. Allow us to help guide you and help build upon what has already been accomplished here to customize it as your own adventure to help you accomplish your dream.